but we're excited to be back on campus and serving the community and the University of Iowa again. And we are, the Association of Fundraising Professionals is a nonprofit organization, student org, that works to promote the profession of nonprofit careers to the University of Iowa students through education, training, meetings, workshops, publications, networking opportunities, and other relevant events. Student members will acquire knowledge and skills to professionally and ethically fundraise money to support charities and nonprofit organizations. We hope you can all find your place at the University of Iowa through AFPCC and grow in your knowledge and passion of philanthropy. Throughout the event, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the chat. Now, we're all going to go through and introduce ourselves. So my name is Isabel. I am the president of AFPCC. I am a junior studying marketing and business analytics with a certificate in nonprofit leadership and philanthropy. I am also on leadership in 3 other organizations on campus, all focusing on the nonprofit sector as well. So it's a huge passion of mine, which is why I chose to join AFPCC. It's a great opportunity for leadership, learning to help out others, and meet people outside of your college and area of study. Next, James is going to talk about his position and the other benefits of being a member of AFPCC.
Great, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is James Seichman, and I'm a junior at the University of Iowa, majoring in journalism and mass communications. I'm also in the certificate program for nonprofit leadership and philanthropy, and I understand that a few of you are as well, so welcome. In addition to being a student, I also work for a homeless services agency in Cedar Rapids. I joined the AFP chapter at the university because previously I had worked in a lot of business operations, and I wanted to transition my career, so that's why I'm in school, and that's why I'm now a junior. And I was looking for a way to start building the professional connections and the inside know-how, so that when I graduated and got the certificate, that I would have a good kind of introduction to the community and a leg up in having some contacts and resources in the professional community. And so joining this chapter was a great way to do that. Some other benefits that you may get here as a member is some real world experience, whether it's working in various roles within our organization and learning skills for communications or applying skills that you're receiving through your education. There's outreach and organizing, social media marketing. There's an opportunity to apply skills from a variety of different disciplines while gaining some real world practical experience that you can apply once you graduate or when you're looking for internships or other job opportunities in your fields of choice. We will also offer professional resources, both through our organization and through the greater network of the Association of Fundraising Professionals, which is a fairly large organization with members and organizations across the country and beyond. And there's a lot of resources within that organization for you to tap into. They do trainings, they do webinars. They have a lot of resources that you can tap into to learn more about fundraising and philanthropy, in addition to other communication-related skills as well. So there's a lot that you can get out of this organization, both from the social aspect of just being part of a student organization, and then also the professional skills you can gain and use while you're here, and then the connections that you can get when you move on after graduation. So there's something here for everybody for sure. My role as a membership chair offers an opportunity to be able to make contacts with other student organizations and sororities and fraternities, get in touch with and communicate with different parts of the university as we look for opportunities to help different organizations and causes in our university community and in the greater community as a whole. And the membership chair is responsible for reaching out to new members, for soliciting new members, for letting people know what sort of opportunities there are at the organization, and for helping introduce people and get them plugged into different roles. So there's a lot that you can do in the capacity of this role as well. So next you'll be hearing from Taylor. Taylor, oh, looks like, I'm sorry, we'll be hearing from Colton. Colton is the treasurer here at AFPCC.
Hi, everybody. As James had said, my name's Colton and I'm the treasurer. I'm a third-year student at the University of Iowa, and I'm studying public health, and I'm also in the certificate program. I decided to join AFPCC because I just wanted to build my network of fundraising professionals and then just also sharpen my leadership skills. And I'm just looking forward to continue working with the people on the exec board and new members who have joined. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Lauren.
Thanks, Colin. Hi, everyone. I'm Lauren, and I'm the development chair for AFPCC. I'm senior at Iowa currently, majoring in statistics and also earning the certificate in nonprofit leadership and philanthropy. The reason I joined AFPCC was ever since I was little, I've had a huge passion for fundraising and philanthropy, and it's a dream of mine since I was a part of the nonprofit sector and to make a difference and leave an impact. And AFPCC specifically helped further my skills within fundraising and build a network of like-minded individuals and just being able to work with this and some members. For those interested in being part of the development committee, we'll be working to build a skill set for fundraising, communicating with local nonprofits in the area, and then using our skill sets we build to assist organizations in our community. Next, I'm going to pass it to Lizzie, who's our communications chair.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lizzie Ambray, and I'm the communications chair for AFPCC at Iowa. I've always had a passion for service and philanthropy, and I want to pursue a fundraising career in the nonprofit sector. I joined AFPCC at Iowa because this organization allows me to network with all kinds of nonprofit professionals, make a direct impact in the Iowa City community, and get real hands-on experience producing a variety of communications and marketing materials. I'm excited to meet all our new members, especially those interested in joining my communications committee. I will be building a team to help me plan, produce, and implement all communications and marketing materials. No matter what experience you have now, AFPCC at Iowa is here to help you hone your skills and connect you with professionals in your area of interest. And I'm going to pass it along to Taylor.
Hey everyone, I'm Taylor. I am a first year grad student at University of Iowa. I'm getting my MFA in theater, specifically in stage management. I graduated with my undergrad in 2015, and for the past 5 years, I've been working in programming and in nonprofit development. So currently I do institutional giving for a contemporary art center located in Omaha. And these groups like AFP and other small networking groups and fundraising have been super important to my career. And I wanted to maintain that as I moved over to Iowa, because you get to learn, more about people, you get to learn about the organizations, but you also build a tight network. And when there's jobs available, or if there's something you want to know about a specific funder or a specific opportunity or a specific grant, the connections that you make in groups like these are super helpful. So I also serve as the secretary, which is super thrilling, of taking notes and holding people to deadlines. But another opportunity that we have at AFP is in programming. So our programming chair will come up with programs like this one, but we also have more coming up with panels. We're talking about creating a career panel that'll highlight University of Iowa alumni that have nonprofit careers around the country, and then another panel of experienced nonprofit professionals from a variety of nonprofit organizations. But if you help on the programming committee, then you'll be able to have input and help create programs like these. So I'm going to introduce our guest, Carson King. You all may know Carson King. Carson is an accidental fundraiser who turned a joke sign for beer money on ESPN's College Game Day into a multi-million-dollar fundraiser for the University of Iowa's Stead Family Children's Hospital within a 2.5-week span. So super quick. King has since used his platform and notoriety as the Iowa legend to bring awareness and support to multiple charities, causes, and nonprofits, both on a local and national level. King has since begun his own 501c3 foundation, the Carson King Foundation, to further support children and families across Iowa and unite communities to support their own. King also utilized the lessons he has learned along the way to communicate this to schools and businesses about small acts of kindness, one person's ability to make a difference, and the power and presence of social media. So we're excited to have Carson and for him to share his experience. So Carson.
Hi, thank you, Taylor. Well, yeah, my name's Carson King. My story kind of started as I fell into philanthropy and fundraising on accident. In 2019, the Iowa State game, I went to game day with my friends, held up a sign asking for beer money, thinking, oh, this would be a fun way to get $20 to buy a case of beer and spend the evening. We thought, oh, this is, cool stuff. We got there way too late. There were too many people by the stage. So we actually were really far away by this little random circle stage in the middle of nowhere. And we got really lucky because the entire game day crew came to us. We held up my sign, got on national television for a few seconds. Cool experience. And then my friend Tyler looks at me and he's like, hey, who keeps texting you? Your phone's blowing up. I looked down and it wasn't my text messages, it was my Venmo account. And I had over $400 in my Venmo account within 15 minutes of being on TV, which was just mind blowing. I thought, wow, this is going to be a really fun night out on the town. This is going to be cool. And then it just kept going and going. And then once we hit $600, I thought, there's something more I can do with this than, my own good time out on the town. So I decided I wanted to send it to charity. Didn't really know where. So after the game day filming, I went back to my tailgate and I called my parents and my brother and my sister, and we talked about it. And we decided on the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. Being an Iowa State fan, donating to the University of Iowa's hospital, I just thought it'd be a cool way to kind of get involved, because at the end of the first quarter, everyone in Kinnick Stadium turns and they wave at the Children's Hospital. It's really sweet. It's the most breathtaking experience you're ever going to feel in your life. And they serve people not only, for Iowa City and for the Hawkeyes, but they serve people in all over Iowa, the Midwest, and even the country. They're some of the best at what they do. I believe there was a stat that came out. It's like across the country, there's, babies born 26 to, 36 weeks gestation or whatever. Their survival rates like 17% or something like that. At the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital, that's 70%. So they're fantastic. They literally save lives, thousands of lives every day, and they're really, really powerful. Once we put that out there on social media, a lot of people picked up on the story and they thought it was cool. They started sharing. It was a fun way to get involved and help the hospital. And then pretty quickly we were raising thousands and thousands of dollars. We had been contacted by a couple different sponsors that were willing to match whatever's in my Venmo account. Busch Light and Venmo were both willing to match the total raised in my Venmo account by the end of the month, and send it on to the Children's Hospital. So we were pushing really hard. There was a lot of national press on it, and I went out to New York to do a little thing with Good Morning America, which was really cool. Like, they called me on a Thursday morning on my day off from work. I'm like, hey, do you want to come out to New York? And I was like, I guess. I'm like, okay, your flight leaves in 4 hours. We'll see you soon. I was like, I'm going to call work, tell them I can't come in. So went out there, did a bunch of interviews, came back. It just kept gaining traction. There was a bunch of hills and bumps along the way. And then by the end of the 2.5 week span, we were able to raise over $3 million to send to the Stead Family Children's Hospital. It was an unreal experience, and it launched me into this, this feeling of I might be able to do something with this and use kind of the notoriety I've gained to continue to do the good work. Mine was completely accidental, whereas your guys' is on purpose. What you're doing is helping people with a purpose. I mean, that's your sole intent with this. Mine was a complete joke, and it turned into it. There's all kinds of different ways people come into it. Like when you were listening to everyone talk earlier, they have all different majors and they're come from all walks of life. And it's really cool to see people come together and support each other. So I started the Carson King Foundation. Didn't know what I was doing, just made some phone calls. I was like, hey, could you help me out with this project? And we were able to start it on Super Bowl Sunday of last year. So we're just over a year old. We started it at the worst possible time for fundraising and nonprofit work during COVID. But we managed to make do and do a little bit of good. We our first fundraiser we did was for mental health services across the state. We did a t-shirt sale. One of my friends owns a t-shirt company called Iowa Love out of Waterloo, and we partnered together, did a limited edition t-shirt, and we raised over $40,000 for different mental health resource centers across the state. We donated to the Waubonsee Mental Health Resource Center in Clarinda, Iowa, which is where I was born. NAMI of Central Iowa, and Please Pass the Love of Des Moines, and then the Blackhawk Grundy County Mental Health Resource Center. And then, we just kept doing little things because obviously we didn't have events to do anything. We had to get creative, especially with the fundraising and getting in charge of everything. So we, we were getting random donations from people coming in from press releases. And then the derecho hit, which was an inland land hurricane, basically. I don't know. I'm sure most of you guys heard about it. And we wanted to help out. So we started another t-shirt fundraiser with Iowa Strong Shirts. Because for work, I do, roofing and remodeling stuff. So we were over in the areas affected a lot. And what I was seeing when I was there staying on people's roofs was looking around and seeing neighbors and friends and family come from all over, taking days off work, taking time off work, helping each other to support each other. I mean, they were donating their time, their resources, their energy, their love to everyone else around them. And it was a really cool experience. And I kind of wanted to embody that. And we did an Iowa Love shirt with all funds being raised going to storm relief. So we sent to a bunch of different organizations. I believe within 2 days, we raised over $70,000 for storm relief and sent that to different organizations helping with, rent, displaced people, food, water, shelter, medications that might have went bad with the power outages, homeless shelters, just anything they could think of that they were doing, we were helping. Then we also took a little bit of the extra funds we had come in just on the sides during this whole thing, and we did food pantries during Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So it was really fun. We were able to raise, I don't know, probably around $30,000 for the food pantries, which we distributed up and sent out. It was kind of a surprise. I called it Operation Santa's Got a New Bag because I really like the movie Elf. And it was really fun. It's been a crazy journey. Never had anything official or anything like that. It's just we're a very small board. We're zero overhead. We're completely volunteer, and it's it's a journey. We're doing it the right way. We're doing it small. We don't have any admin fees. We don't have any overhead of any type. My office is actually inside of my work office. All of our stuff is paid for through my work basically, and it's just like $30 for a website, and that's all we got. So that's just just giving a little top from my work pay, and it covers it. There's a lot of really cool organizations out there, and we've been able to work with them and kind of highlight their fundraising and different events. There's so many nonprofits and charities and organizations that do a lot of good work that just don't get the recognition they deserve. Like one of my favorites is the Ronald McDonald Houses. They give kids, parents a place to stay while they're getting treatment. A lot of times they work with the University of Iowa hospitals. It's just down the road a little bit, and they take all that weight off their parents' shoulders where they don't have to worry about food. They don't have to worry about shelter. They don't have to worry about, the driving to and from every single day. They have a place right there where they can get access to their kids while they're fighting for their lives. And that's really important. I mean, most people think Ronald McDonald House and like, oh, Big Macs, right? McDonald's. They're completely separate entity. It's just they get help from them, or pop tabs. People send their pop tabs to them, and yeah, that's part of what they do. But they melt those pop tabs down, and then they recycle them, and the funds they get from that is what pays for everything. So they literally provide shelter for these people that are displaced while they're trying to worry about their kids. And there's a bunch of other organizations, and I mean everyone's doing so many great things out there. There's so many people that are doing fantastic things that just need a pathway and just need the exposure. And programs like this obviously help them get into that. I mean, they get people that come out and they're qualified to help and they're qualified to learn. And I mean, they're people that are way better at their jobs than what I do. And it's really cool. It's kind of my spiel. That's all I got. So I'm going to pass it off to Jennifer.
Yeah, Carson, thank you so much. That's amazing. I hadn't originally thought that I would ask you any questions, but I do have to ask you one question. So I'm curious. I mean, it's obvious that you're very passionate about philanthropy. And I'm just wondering, like, before the beer sign, what did philanthropy look like for you? Were you involved? Have you always been very mission driven and based, or how did this just all, kind of, come about with that experience?
I'd always been involved with different type of fundraising stuff. In high school and middle school, I did a lot of mission trips down in, Mexico, Texas, Florida, just different places impoverished. and love doing that. And then obviously through church and stuff, we sent, like cows and livestock over to third world countries and different things like that. And then college, I worked, I participated in like dance marathon and all those fun things. So it never really was something that I wanted to do, and get involved with full time until this. And then I realized, this is really fun and there's a chance to really do a lot of cool work. And so then I just kind of made it my mission to help out as many people as I can while I can, and then, go from there and see what happens.
That's great. That's very inspiring. So thank you again for being here and being a part of this tonight. We really do appreciate it. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Jennifer Vick, and I serve as the faculty advisor for the Association of Fundraising Professionals Collegiate Chapter. And I also am the co-director of the Nonprofit Leadership and Philanthropy Certificate. One thing I wanted to mention about membership in this newly formed collegiate chapter, this student org, is that we currently have 18 members. So I think that's really something to celebrate, knowing that we just got started and that this, executive board of students is just doing an amazing job under these conditions of COVID, and it's just something to celebrate. So I know that most of you who are joining right now are already members, already enrolled in the certificate. And so I just really wanted to spend a little bit of time just talking about some of the ways that the certificate can help you reach your goals, whether it be a nonprofit career, networking, interning with a nonprofit, or just preparing yourself for engagement in your community now or even after graduation. In addition to all the networking opportunities that AFPCC at Iowa, the Nonprofit Leadership and Philanthropy Certificate is bringing a group of professionals together from around the country to form a nonprofit professional advisory board and an Iowa alumni and friends group. So these will be individuals who are experienced and passionate about opening doors, making connections, and assisting students interested in the nonprofit sector. And so the professional advisory board will be made up of about 15 to 20 high profile individuals from diverse backgrounds and organizations. And these individuals will be given the opportunity to invest in students' futures. So they might do that through, donating to scholarships or internship stipends. It will provide students an opportunity to attend nonprofit conferences around the country, and offering career trek outings where we'll visit national nonprofit headquarters in places like Chicago or Minneapolis or St. Louis. And so a lot of opportunities, as we start to have even more outreach and bring, experienced professionals kind of into, this network of providing a lot of great resources, additional resources for students. And so we also are forming the Iowa Alumni and Friends Group, and that'll be made up of dozens of working professionals from around the country, and they can serve as mentors and provide connections to internships and career opportunities. So this is a very exciting time to be enrolled in the certificate. And I would just encourage you to reach out to me, talk to me about your goals. I'd love to hear, what people are passionate about, what they're interested in. And I have some experience and a lot of resources that I could, give you some feedback. And even for those of you who maybe have a general idea of what you're interested in, I can kind of help, brainstorm what that might look like after graduation as a career. So I'm so glad that you're able to join us here at this event. And I'm now going to turn it over to Isabel so she can say a few words in closing.
Well, first, we want to thank you all again. Thank you, Carson, for coming and talking to all of us. It was a great story. Love hearing it. I love the passion. Dance Marathon is one of my all-time favorite orgs. Just got done with my fourth big event, so really love Dance Marathon. And also, please, 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 if you have questions, send them in the chat. We have a lot of extra time for questions if you have them about AFPCC, anything about nonprofit sector, anything you have questions on, feel free to send them in the chat. And thank you for coming and spending more of your time on Zoom. I know it has turned into Zoom University recently, and it is hard to sit and stare at a screen all day, more than you would think. Coming into, you're like, oh, I can stare at a screen. No, it's so much harder than you think. But we're super appreciative that you have allowed us to share our passion for philanthropy with you, and we hope you learned a lot about AFPCC tonight. And if you are interested in joining, you can email Jennifer or any one of us. We'll be sending out our emails to everyone, so you have that contact information if you haven't joined, or if you just have questions about anything, like, okay, I don't know what nonprofit can look like in the field of business. You can ask me, I'll answer. I'm pretty responsive on my email. I'm always on my computer now. But we can also I can put my email in the chat too, if that helps. But we have an annual meeting coming up in April for anyone that wants to attend that and wants to become a part of AFPCC. And if nobody has any questions, I hope you'll have a great night. But if you do have questions, please send them in the chat. Okay, we have some questions about, so the process for joining. We have an application that's a PDF that you just have to fill out. In this first year, we have super gracious donors that have covered the expenses to join. So you do not have to pay a membership fee for this first year, right, Jennifer?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. So that covers 2 questions. Free to join for this first year. So you get all those amazing benefits that Jennifer talked about, all for free, all the networking experience that most people don't have, because the nonprofit industry is growing so rapidly as people realize that you can have a fundraising career after college and you can get a formal education. Sorry if you can hear the ambulance that is passing. Okay, and then speaking of nonprofit careers, if you don't want it in the area of fundraising, that is totally fine. There are so many nonprofit careers that are not focused on fundraising, because some people are not chatterboxes like myself. You don't want to go and talk to people and be like, hey, can I have some money? Because sometimes that is not for everybody. So I'm currently working for an organization right now that I'm working in finance, and there's not much talking that goes on there, but I still get to help and contribute to the mission, and what everyone is working towards is to help university students, and whether that's finance, or you can be working in web design and communications, or work in alumni engagement. So you're not asking people for money, but you can still interact with alumni, and that's just in higher education. There's so many different sectors, and Jennifer is a wealth of information, so she can help you with all of that. She has all of these connections, and she is great for that. Okay. So I will stop talking for a second if anyone else wants to take any of the questions.
Are there questions in the chat?
I think some questions were sent to us, through the link. So I guess I would just add, let me see. So other types of events that there will be, that was a question. So what kind of events will there be? So I think that the main thing with the chapter, with the student org, is we'll certainly have the events like the career panels, but then also these will be, as everything gets even more up and running and things open up, having a couple maybe, nonprofits in Iowa City that the organization supports through helping raise funds for maybe one of their programs. And so one thing I wanted to mention is that everyone did a great job talking about the roles that they have on the executive committee, but you also just through general membership can be a member. So you don't, certainly there are board positions and committee positions, and you can get involved on a higher level. But just being a member will kind of open you up to all the different programming. And frankly, being a member of AFP is pretty prestigious, actually. I know that me as a professional over the last 15 years, membership is about $300 a year for a professional. And collegiate chapter members, the cost is $35 a year. So if you are even a senior right now and you're thinking, oh, will I even have that much, involvement or anything like that, we can certainly have you be part of these, attend these panels about career information, but also you'll have that membership for the next year. So you can access all the great resources on the AFP Global website. They have additional, training videos, webinars. They have a whole career board, with positions, open positions within nonprofits around the country and probably around the world because it's an international organization. So a lot of resources. And then you can continue on. I think a young professional's dues are maybe $50 a year. So often if you're working at a nonprofit, sometimes that nonprofit organization will actually pay for your membership also. So a lot of opportunities, but just a few other things that I wanted to kind of throw out there.
Jennifer, do you want to talk about when meetings are in that whole process?
Yeah, and James, you can certainly jump in also, but I think that, there'll be kind of the event items, the events that take place, like the career panel and whatnot. But James, are you thinking kind of traditional kind of membership meetings might be once a month, or what's your vision with that?
I definitely, as we've mentioned offline before, want to be able to meet with NLP students specifically on a monthly basis, and then also have sort of general meetings with everyone also on a monthly basis. So probably every couple of weeks we'd be having a meeting in some fashion. As the organization continues to grow and gain a larger foothold in the university community, as well as in the local nonprofit community, as we find our legs, so to speak, there will be plenty of other opportunities for meetings intermittently on a monthly or quarterly or semesterly basis. So I think there's a lot of different opportunities to have input in a variety of different ways. And as Lizzie had mentioned in wanting to put together panels for communications, that's just one example of how different board positions will be able to grow and evolve and address the different needs of our organization and the communities that we choose as a group to serve. And to kind of connect a little bit with what we were talking about in the beginning of our Q&A, in terms of the sorts of things that we'll be doing. Asking for money is just one small part of philanthropy. I think Carson, could echo that. Asking for money was really just the one little thing you did in the beginning, but the end result was so much more, and there was so much behind the scenes work. So whatever experience you bring to the table, whatever your interests are, whether that is in data management or social media or draft or design, there's so many different skills and emphasis and educational emphasis that it takes to put together a large effort that can have a broad-reaching impact in the lives of others. So philanthropy may just sound like going and asking for money, knocking on doors and asking for money, but it's really a collective of many like-minded individuals with a very broad array of skills coming together to put forward a campaign of sorts to better the lives of others. So that being said, I think there will be a lot of opportunities for us to meet, discuss, grow, and develop in a variety of different capacities as the organization moves forward.
Okay, and then another question, Jennifer, what kind of guest speakers will be coming to these events?
So sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, of course. What kind of guest speakers are going to be coming to the events that we're going to host in the future?
Sure. So I think, you know, number one would be professionals within the nonprofit sector. So that's kind of a broad answer, but I think that it also will give opportunities for members to talk about who they want to hear from. So I know what I think, students should hear, but I think that, giving them an opportunity through maybe doing some surveys of students, members and everything to find out what they're interested in. But, it's interesting. What was I doing? I think I had just been, maybe I was talking to a student, or maybe it was through something I was grading, like an assignment that they submitted, but they hadn't realized that, grant writing is a profession. Like, a lot of students are like, oh, I didn't know I could be a professional grant writer, or I could do volunteer management, for a large organization in Chicago, and, or event planning, or, working with businesses to support a nonprofit. So there are just so many different career paths that I think that if students are exposed to people doing those jobs and listening to kind of what their careers look like, I think that will be really exciting for students. But so does that answer the question? I
think so, yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we have any more questions, if anyone else can think of anything. Okay, I think we're gonna wrap up early, which is always good. I mean, it's even better when it happens in class, but this is good too. Everyone gets to eat dinner a little earlier, depending on, I eat at the same time as, I guess, like a grandma. So I'm ready for dinner already. But thank you all again. The socials are on the screen now. And I'm putting my email in the chat. So if anyone wants to email me about anything, they can. I think my computer is connected at my hip at this point. But feel free to email me any questions you may have, AFPCC, nonprofit, TV college business. I'll answer it, and if I don't, I'll point you in the right direction. But thank you all for coming. I hope you have a great rest of your night, and follow us on social media. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.